G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Thursday, the 3rd of September 2020, and the time here is 0850 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Okay folks, plenty to go through. Let's get into it. Here is my sponsor, Totally Rawsome. Sorry about that. Totally Rawsome make golden activated turmeric paste. If you have not tried it, you need to. If you have joint pain or just want to feel better, take this bloody stuff, folks. It's fantastic, honestly. I also want to draw your attention to this. The guy sent me a pack recently to try out the different stuff. And this is Happy Healing Silica. Now, I haven't started taking it, but my wife is. Sorry, one of my lights has just gone out. She swears by this stuff. Her gut health has improved dramatically since taking this stuff, and she highly recommends it. I'm going to start taking it now that she's stopped taking it, so that I can actually. So I don't want to get persuaded by just taking it and thinking that it's something different. So this is where you can find the guys. Markets in the Meadow, Gold Coast Turf Club every Sunday 6 till 12, Currumbin Community Markets every Thursday 7 to 11, and info details info@totallyrawsome.com.au. Get their stuff, folks. Look, everybody that takes it swears by it, seriously. Okay, now this is take number 2. The first video blew up, sort of thing, in between the video. Hopefully this one doesn't. Look, unless you are, okay, first of all, if this is the first time you've ever watched one of my videos, there's no script. I'm not reading from paper. I haven't got an auto cue. I just pick a subject, which is usually financial or prepping, and I talk about it. It might take me 10 minutes, might take me 20, might take me 30, but I get there in the end. To the idiot that wrote in recently and said, oh, I couldn't put up with your and and like the Aussie bloke. He said to me, he couldn't put up with my and and piss off and go and watch MSM. You dimwit. Go and watch, if you want me to rant and rave, go and watch one of those clowns that rant and raves and gets nowhere and does nothing. Go and watch mainstream media. Please. Outback Aussie or whatever name was. What a bloody idiot, honestly. Australians and that's what we do. I'm a Queenslander, it makes it worse. Only Aussies appreciate what I just said. Okay, let's get into the financial stuff. Australian recession confirmed as COVID-19 triggers biggest economic plunge on record. Okay. Well, no brainer there. But read the fine print. And the fine print is we are now in a greater economic crisis. So my light's blowing up. Economic crisis than the Great Depression. That's right. Right now, you are living through a Great Depression. That's how bad things are. Wouldn't believe it, would you? But from the time the Great Depression started till the time the Great Depression finished, you had the stock market plunge. And then it was another year, 18 months before it got really bad. Now remember, the majority of the 90% of the population lived on farms then, or were rural, except for England, etc. Like Australia, America. America, for example, 90% of the people in the Great Depression lived rural. So now you've got the opposite, where 90% of the people live in the cities. So how does this play out, right? Ask you, if you are new to this channel, ask yourself this really easy question. How does this play out? Or why is this playing out? Two questions, actually. Why and how? Why is this playing out? Okay, so the world debt is now so large they can't control it. Even with constant money printing, they cannot control the debt. Staggering, eh? So 24/7 printing, can't control the debt. So inflation starts taking off, and inflation around the world is taking off. So how does this play out then? But what do you do to slow down inflation? How about shutting everything down? Because then people can't spend, then inflation literally gets cut off at the knees, and there is no inflation because there is no economy, there is no spending, there is nothing except for shopping. So how do you shut everything down? Easy. Pandemic. It's not that hard to figure out, guys. Come on. A pandemic. Scare the shit out of everyone so everyone has to stay home, not spend any money. Businesses close all the businesses except for the essentials, water, food, hospitals. That's it. This is COVID-19. This is why it's here. Is there COVID-19? Yes. Are people dying from it? Yes. Is it worse than last year's influenza? Even in Europe? No. More people died from the influenza in Europe and here in Australia than there has been from COVID-19. Here's a good one. New Zealand. I think they've had like 20 cases of COVID. The whole country shut down. So you've got 3.4 million people shut down, locked up, can't go anywhere, can't do anything because I think they've had something like 50 cases. Not even that. Why? Folks, we're living in bizarro world. This is how desperate these people are to stop you from spending. As I said, is there COVID-19? Of course there is. Who's dying? Old people. You are now, right now, while your ass is sitting on a chair and whatever you're doing, you are living in a alternate universe because the life you're leading now is not real because you're currently living through something that is worse than the Great Depression. The only thing keeping it going is the handouts from the government. But, and here's the big but, one day soon, somebody is going to stand up and go, in government is going to go, enough is enough, we can't keep doing this. And they've already, I watched Josh Frydenberg, the Australian Treasurer, on news this morning say exactly that. This can't go on forever. We can't keep it going. The lefty reporter was literally frothing out the mouth when she said, you can't cut the job seeker, the job keeper, you can't cut it. And he was like, well, I'm sorry, we have to. Because people have gotten used to just getting everything for nothing. In the Great Depression, there was no unemployment. There was no handouts. Well, I guess there are handouts here and there. I think the Salvos and, Christian communities got together and helped most people out, which gets me to my next point, community. What community are you in? Are you in a community of like-minded people, or are you in a community of people where they're living way beyond their means? They're running around in their cars with the wind blowing through their hair. Everything's great. So good. Think about that. Because the alternate universe that they're living in is very soon this veil's going to go, and they're going to go, holy shit. What, it's like that, the Matrix, when he's sitting in a chair and he's got the TV and he goes, this is the real universe. That's going to be what's going to happen. People are just going to melt down, literally melt down. Now, if you've never watched this show before, my number one thing here is to, even if I wake up one person, or if I get one person who's awake to speak to another person who's not awake, then I've done my job. So what are you getting ready? How are you preparing for what's coming? Do you have your bug out bags? Do you have bug out food? Do you have bug in food? You need 3 months worth of food, folks, to keep you going. At least 3 months. You try to hold any more than 3 months food, good luck to you. We don't have basements in Australia, but if you're an American, you've got your basement full of food, then the next thing you're going to need is people to help you protect it, which means that 6 months worth of food is going to now go to 3 months worth of food, because the people that you need to help you to protect it are going to eat your food. So look, just aim for 3 months on your own, but tool up, get survival gear, get your cars fixed, get your teeth fixed, think sensibly, okay? So like I said, if you've never watched this show before, right, I'm going to say this again. You are now living through something that is worse than the Great Depression financially. Here's the number one example. The US and the UK, forget about Europe. Europe's a basket case anyway. It's just one big handout, as far as I can tell. It has been since the GFC. So let's just focus on UK, America, US. The US economy dropped by nearly 15% in the last couple of months. The UK economy fell below 20% fiscally, if everything's taken into account. They said 20, but it was actually more. Now, in the GFC, globally, things dipped by 1.1, I think it was. And look what happened. So take America and the UK, 15 and 20% of their economy is wiped out. What do you think is going to happen? Here in Australia, we're at 10. Forget about forget about the 7, 9, whatever it was, 8. It's bigger than that. Always add extra. Whenever you're dealing with politicians or these clowns, add extra. So they said it was 8%. So we're probably at 12 and getting worse daily, right? So you've got people living in houses all around you at the moment that are getting these handouts, and that's going to stop soon. The government's just going to go, okay, we're going to halve it, but then they're going to make it harder for people to get it, which is quite right. What do you think is going to happen in 3 months' time from now, coming up to Christmas? It's going to be pandemonium, folks. Absolute pandemonium. I cannot see this going on any longer than 3 full months from September, coming up to Christmas, and especially in the new year. It's going to be pandemonium. The first thing you're going to start seeing is governments around the world trying to repatriate their citizens back to their home countries. That is going to happen. You've got all these Aussies living in the UK, America. The governments are going to start saying, well, if you're not a citizen, you've got to go, because we want our jobs for Americans, for UK, blah, 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 Australians, okay? And then if you're in Australia, for example, all those people that are on these visas, you know, working visas, etc., people quite rightly are going to start saying, hang on a minute, what's he doing here? Why is he working here? Could be a Chinese man, Paki, whatever you want to say, really, Indian, who cares? But what are they doing here? My brother hasn't had a job for 3 months. So then you're going to get all these people being repatriated to their home countries because, hey, we got no work for you here, piss off. We're not supporting you, piss off. Don't care if you've actually got a job, piss off. That's how brutal it's going to get. Then, in the middle of all that, the government's going to say, okay, if you're a teacher, I don't know, you've got a government job and you've got people living at home with you, your husband, kids, etc., then there's no more handouts. And it's going to get even more brutal than that. They're going to say, okay, anyone under 25 who's living at home with their parents, etc., there's no more handouts. The parents will have to take the slack up. They'll give you a little bit, you know, they'll give you like the local dole money or whatever, but that's it. There'll be no more handouts. What do you think is going to happen, folks, in 3 months' time when this happens? And remember, I told you exactly how this was going to play out, and it's playing out exactly how I said it would. No, not just me, but everybody. Everyone's been telling you how this is going to play out. So what are you going to do? What is your plan to get out of the next 3 months? Because I'm telling you, come Christmas time and the new year, this is going to get real ugly. I've got people living down the street in cars, and I live in a pretty affluent neighbourhood. Well, I'm on the Gold Coast, everything bloody affluent in the Gold Coast, but there's people, and you may think this is bizarro, but it's not, because even my son has noticed it. There's more and more people living in their cars. Think I'm joking? Go around, take a drive around. You won't miss them. So what happens when soon you've got tents pitched up on the side of the road with families living in them? We are now living in something worse than the Great Depression. Remember, when the veil comes down, and people go, oh, wow, oh my God, no one told me it was this bad. Because they were living in an alternate universe where this universe never existed. That's why it's this bad. That's why it's going to get that bad. Forget all the other theatrics and bullshit and everything else. Are you ready? Are you prepared for what's coming? Me, I'm hot to trot, keeping on going, head down, bum up, getting everything ready, because I know, mate, I've even ordered, because I'm doing the renos here, and I've even ordered extra timber and stuff because I know I won't be able to get it soon. And that's happening now. I ordered timber that usually takes a couple of weeks, and I haven't been able to. It took over 2 months to get it. And you know what they blamed? The fires, New South Wales fires. Well, that it's just ridiculous. So look, that's where we're at, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. Sorry, my other light's gone out. You guys just have to get ready. It's as simple as that. Forget all the other stuff. There is no other stuff. If you're actually asking yourself, is there other stuff? Well, you're asking the wrong question, because there is no other stuff. All there is getting your ass ready to protect yourself and your family. And hey, you're going to have to start being brutal with the people that you know. And by brutal, I don't mean like, you can talk to a horse as much as you like, but the horse is never going to talk back to you. Do you understand? So stop trying to convert people, have a conversation with people. They either listen, take in what you're saying and respond, or they completely forget about it and they don't want to know. So you're wasting your breath, you're wasting your time. Stop trying to convert people. You now need to get in touch with people who can build a community with you for the future. And based on that, I may be holding another, we can't, can we? Look, it's going to be hard, guys, and you need to make sure you've got family and community around you. We're actually bringing all our kids back home, the whole lot. The whole lot. Like, we're going the whole 9 yards with this. We're not leaving anyone out there. So wise up, read the papers, or have to read the papers. Keep an eye on what they're saying. Australian Rescue Firm triggers biggest economic plunge on record. Now, if a lefty rag like the ABC is telling you that, then you know that you're in trouble. Because ordinarily they go, oh, everything's great. It's not. You're living in bizarro world. And it's going to turn to shit in the next 3 months. Government knows it. Government can't do anything about it. They can possibly help here and there. I made this comment a while ago about the Ring of Steel. Now, when you start seeing places like Canberra, Melbourne, Parliament House in Sydney, Queensland, etc., not too sure about WA just yet, but when you start seeing places, Canberra's a good example, right? When you start seeing Canberra putting in bollards, permanent troops on the ground, etc., I don't mean like COVID troops with things on their faces, and I mean like tooled up troops with like their guns standing in the street with their full combat gear on, with tanks or personnel carriers with the army bollards, you know the ones I mean, around Canberra, Parliament House or the legislative assemblies in Canberra, right? Because they'll do this first before they do anything else. They will protect their own asses before they protect anything else. That's when you know that shit's going to hit the fan in about 4 to 5, 6 weeks after that. So when you start seeing these clowns do that, you know, the great politicians who look after us, when you start seeing these clowns do shit like that, then you know that it's all going to shit real quick, because they will do things 4, 5, 6 weeks in front of everybody else. We're just doing it just so that we can protect the natural environment and, you know, all that shit they carry on with, right? They'll obviously have those lone wolf guys running around that they've MK Ultra'd in their head saying go and shoot somebody, or, you know, whatever they do. I don't know. In Australia, there'll be a politician will get slapped, or who knows. But Victoria is a test case. If you haven't noticed, Victoria is a test case for the rest of the country. So I'm pretty sure in the next couple of weeks, Victoria Parliament is going to get surrounded by bollards and army troops with guns. Because, I don't know, someone took a pop at Daniel Andrews, or, you know, whoever the bloody politician is in Victoria, who knows? It'll be some lame duck politician no one's ever heard of, I'm guessing. So, you know, down the rung. But, oh, God, it's a thing against our democracy and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to have to shut off Parliament, you know, so people can't get to it, and protect our democracy. Fire truck you all. That's their response. Anyway, let's go to the prayers. Okay. The earth, O Lord, is full of your mercy. Teach me your statutes. How ironic. Listen, before I say this Lord's Prayer, I want to say something here. Spiritually, you better get your ass into gear, because there's a whole bigger picture here that I'm guessing is going to play out. And if you haven't realised that, then, you know, more fool you. I'm not big on prayers and, you know, asking for help and all that sort of stuff, although I have been lately. I've got to be honest. I don't sit down and say prayers every, you know, all these 5 days of rubbish shit. I have a bit of a thought to Creator, whoever that is, asking for help, and I'll tell you this much: it's worked. So look, I'm not a preacher or anything like that. I'm not even Christian really, but the reason I say these prayers is just maybe just for a little bit of spirituality in people. In Aussies, that's a hard thing. We don't really do religion or spirituality that well. So listen, just listen to the prayer, okay? The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Don't the words mean, those words in that prayer mean a lot if you actually listen to them. You know, just drivel them out. If you actually listen to the prayer in your head while you're saying it, they actually mean a lot. All right, guys, be safe. God bless. Prep out.